like a Hellcat.
Hello and welcome back to the channel, where today we are taking a look at True Pinball in our review series. Now, I obviously had this game many years ago on the PlayStation. I remember it being a pretty good pinball game, so I thought, you know what, we'll get the Saturn version, we'll take a look and we will review it. So let's delve in and take a look at True Pinball. Okay, so loading up True Pinball, the first thing you get is a loading screen, believe it or not, before we go on to the ocean screen, followed by the creative entertainment screen, followed by a True Pinball screen, and then guess what's next? Another loading screen. Yeah, crazy that the first thing we've had when we turn the game on is two loading screens and three other screens which are basically loading screens in between. But we hit the main menu finally. True Pinball, pretty basic, not really anything there. 1996 Digital Illusions,
Welcome to
promotion software. We get the menu screen and it looks pretty simplistic, if I am perfectly honest. Going around the options there, the writing's not that clear. I wasn't that particularly impressed. Options menu, nothing really. You can choose the pinball table view. I always pick 3D high res. Choose how many balls, test the speech, all the pretty basic stuff. Check the pack configuration, and then literally all you need to do is there's table options or view the high scores. And once we hit the tables, there's 4 pretty low resolution images, and we went for Law and Justice as our first one. And of course you're met by another loading screen. Now, there's only 4 tables on the game, and it doesn't necessarily scream out lots of replay value, but we're going to go through, like we always do, talk about how the game looks, how it plays, how it sounds, and the sort of replay value and lifespan that it presents to you. Now, straight away, I think you can agree that the tables on True Pinball, graphically, they're pretty good. Everything's pretty clear. It's pretty easy to see what's going on, and I was generally impressed, I suppose. I guess I did have this game a long time ago on the PlayStation and always thought it was a really good pinball game back then, so that's one of the reasons why I picked it up recently. So I thought, yeah, we'd look at it and review it. It is what it is. It's a pretty standard looking pinball game from the time. Pinball games were fairly popular and fairly common during the 32-bit era, and True Pinball visually, I think, is about what you would expect. In all fairness, everything's fairly crisp, fairly sharp. There's not really no graphical imperfections or glitches or anything like that, basically because the tables are pre-rendered, so there's not really a whole lot of graphics, so to speak, going on, but what is here looks pretty good. Now, talking about the way it plays is pretty simplistic. The A button uses your right flipper, the right button of the D-pad uses the left flipper, and then a couple of the other buttons, I think, is X and Y, tilt the table, and maybe B as well, and literally that is it. In terms of gameplay, it is pretty simplistic. I don't really think there's anything that can go wrong for gameplay of a pinball machine. There really isn't anything to possibly say other than that it's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward, and it plays pretty well for a pinball game. In all fairness, that is pretty much all there is to say about the way that True Pinball plays. So when we talk about the sounds and the music within the game, each table has its own theme tune, and there is a main menu theme tune, and then the large majority of the other sounds in the game are just all the special effects, all of the sound effects on the tables. And again, I don't have any complaints about the music or the sounds. I think the music, all the different tracks fit the tables, especially the Vikings one. That's definitely the most memorable tune on the game. The sound effects, they're all fine, they're all what you'd expect from a pinball game. I couldn't find any problems really with with the game in terms of the way it sounds, the music. I mean, in theory, that makes it sound like the game is perfect, but it's far from perfect. But in the sense of the sound as well, it is what it is. It's a pinball game. The sounds all fit the game. They all sound good. They all sound suitable. There's different little tunes and everything for when you activate all the special features on the tables. The sound effects all sound good for the ball popping around each pinball table. So again, sound very good. Music fit in, though the music tracks aren't necessarily memorable. The Vikings one is definitely the pick of the bunch, in my opinion. So that only leaves us one thing left to talk about, the lifespan and sort of replay value of this game, and that is True Pinball's one major downfall. Now, as I was playing it, I was wondering why I didn't kind of have the feeling that I did when I played it over 20 years ago, and then it dawned on me that when I played True Pinball originally, I played it with both my sisters, and my mum played it as well. So we played it in 4-player, taking it in turns, seeing who could get the high score. Now, when you play True Pinball as a 1-player, the experience is massively diminished, and it really doesn't hold any kind of replay value, to me at least anyway. Beating my own scores is not the same as competing against other people, family members or friends, trying to beat each other's scores, and that is where True Pinball excels. If you can get multiple friends, I mean, you can have up to an 8-player game, so if you can get friends or family to play with you, then True Pinball still has a great replay value, because there's genuine fun in that. If you're just playing it like I am for the review by yourself, it is shot to pieces. I mean, that we're talking about 10 minutes and you're bored. Literally, when I was recording the footage for the review, after about 10 minutes I was genuinely bored, and I didn't really feel like I wanted to play anymore. And it's an example of a game that relies solely on its multiplayer experience to keep it going. It doesn't have any kind of one-player mode. Literally, you have the choice of playing each of the 4 tables right from the get-go, and that is it. There's no kind of career mode or story mode or any arcade mode where you have to get a certain score to move to the next table. It really just is the 4 tables from the get-go, and that is it. So its replay value purely depends on if you've got people to play with. If you have, then yes, the replay value of True Pinball remains good to this day. If not, then I'm afraid it's probably 10 minutes at best, and then you're going to put it back on the shelf until you have a little urge to play a bit more pinball. That was True Pinball on the Saturn. Whilst it played well and it looked pretty good for an old pinball game, it lacked the depth that it really needs to make you want to play it for any sort of period of time. The no real 1-player mode is pretty much a killer. It's near enough multiplayer only. If you've got friends, you've got family to play it with, great. If you're playing it by yourself, not so great. Now, it costs about £12. It's £12 at CEX anyway, so you can probably find it on eBay for a similar price. So it's not too expensive, but whether you're going to play it much really depends on who you're going to play it with, I suppose. Have you got True Pinball? Have you played True Pinball? Let me know down below in the comments, and I will see you soon for another Saturn review. Goodbye for now.